I initially heard about the campaign that went on last year, I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. That is not my thing. I'm not a fundraiser. I don't really want to ask people for donations. And just as I continued to hear from Lift Up the Vulnerable, I guess it was in January, in the month leading up to that campaign, I just continued to sense just this invitation to really lean into the discomfort that I felt around fundraising, and just to lean into the discomfort that I felt in asking for donations. And I thought about my brothers and sisters in Sudan and South Sudan, and the discomfort that they experience on a daily basis, and the challenges, and just the extreme intense persecution and suffering, and just how my small discomfort in asking for donations, I was like, okay, I can push through that on their behalf. And so it was really just out of that sense of invitation to like acknowledge and engage with the interconnectedness of my life with the humanity, with all of humanity, and just to acknowledge that and to be a part of that was really last year the reason why I decided, okay, I'm going to go ahead and give this a try. So Robert had just asked for me to share a few things that I found helpful in this process, and I want to make it very clear, like, I'm not a fundraiser. I don't have any special skills around this. I'm just a completely ordinary person. And so this was I followed the ideas that came to me, even if I wasn't sure they would work. And so tried to just kind of trust my gut and intuition. So a couple things on the GoFundMe page that I found really helpful is I included a really fun picture of myself jumping on our trampoline with my Be the Love shirt on it. And I think that was like just like a fun, like instead of just sitting there, right? Like it was a fun kind of engaging picture that I think grabbed people's attention. And then, so that's that first one, Robert, where I'm there on the trampoline.
It seems to be that I'm sharing.
That's okay. That's okay. Those are other photos from Facebook. But on the GoFundMe page, I also just shared, included some photos that LUV had provided with actual like faces of children and women in Sudan and South Sudan, just so that people could put a face to the reason that LUV exists and what they were going to be donating to. And then on the GoFundMe page is where I shared very personally about why LUV is meaningful to me, how I got involved with LUV, and why I've continued to stay involved over the past 10 years. And then that's also where I set my goal. And I initially was thinking that I would be able to raise $1,000. I thought, yeah, I can do that. That would be pretty easy to do. But then I realized that it wasn't really a goal if I said that it was going to be easy and I could definitely do it. So I felt just the invitation to double the goal. So I went ahead and marked my goal as 2,000. And then about 5 or 6 days into the campaign, I was only $500 away from meeting my goal. So I went ahead and doubled it again to 4,000. And by the time the campaign ended, I was able to raise about $4,200 for LUV. So I feel like the GoFundMe page was an important piece of it. I also posted on Facebook, and I posted about every other day. I'm not a huge Facebook user. I'm hardly ever on it, but that is one way I do connect with people who I don't live close to. And so in each post, I included my goal and the percentage I had left for reaching it, which GoFundMe made it so easy because it's always on your page. And then in each post, I also thanked the people who had recently donated, and I tagged them if they were a Facebook friend. And then some of the photos that Robert was showing you, the Be the Love signs, my daughter made those. And I just took different pictures myself. Around Valentine's Day, my husband and I took a photo with those. I shamelessly used my kids and my dog and just had those throughout the campaign, just as a way to invite people into the campaign. And I alternated those posts that included the photos with posts that shared briefly about reasons why I participate with LUV. And sometimes I would share a statistic that would especially like give me pause or really made me stop. For example, the fact that it's more likely for a 13-year-old girl in Sudan to die in childbirth than to know how to read and write. And so just being able to share that, to connect with people, that LUV is doing something to change that, that there are 13-year-old girls now who are not dying in childbirth because they are learning to read and write. And so inviting people in through those different kinds of statistics. And LUV was so great about including sharing a document with all those resources and all sorts of things that could be shared on those posts. And then on the days that I didn't post to Facebook, my goal was to send a group email to a very specific set of people from some aspect of my life, just to share briefly with them about the campaign and why I was involved in LUV, and to ask them to consider participating. So the main part of each email was the same, but I did personalize each one based on the group that I was sending it to, whether it was friends from my church or family members or different friend groups from the different states I've lived in, my small group or my community or neighborhood friends. And then whenever anyone made a donation, I just made sure that I emailed them or sent them a text just directly to thank them for participating. And then after the campaign, I wrote out a thank you note to each donor and mailed it to them. So I noticed that during the campaign, sometimes it was really easy for me to have the mindset that the experience could be defined as like a success or a failure. Like if I met my goal, it would be a success. But if I didn't, the campaign and then maybe me too would be a failure. And I really felt this invitation just to simply participate and like let go of the outcome of what actually happened to like as a result of the campaign, because the outcome wasn't about me anyway. And the whole point was just to invite others to into this beautiful community that is Lift Up the Vulnerable, and to remember that we are all connected and that we all can care for each other. And so even as I took very specific steps to make posts or send emails or take photos, I also very strongly sense this invitation just to let go of whatever the outcome would be, and to not let it be about me and what I could or could not accomplish, but being able to connect with others in serving the vulnerable in this world. So I invite you to consider how you can open your heart to be the LUV campaign in the coming month, because if I can do it, really anyone can do it.